What is up, everybody? It is Matt with Mikey Designs, and we got Shannon the shop gnome across the room.
Yo!
Hope everybody has had a great weekend and a great week last week.
Hey, Express.
And we will dive into what everybody has been up to here in a moment.
We got yo-yo twice.
Yo. Oh yeah, yeah. We it's funny because I'll get a lot of comments on the videos just asking people to say hello, and one of the things everybody's doing is giving me a yo,
Yo!
yo, yo,
Hey,
yo.
Gene.
What's up, Gene? Yo.
Fry beats!
What's up, Rye Beats? Man, my okay, there we go. There, I was like, why am I not seeing people over here? I guess it's just a little slower for me over here. But what's up, Express Graphics and Decals? What's up, Gene? What's up, Rye Beats? Hope everything's well. Hope everything's well with your pops.
Thank you, Rye Beats. He loves the shirt.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I meant to ask about that. What you guys thought about the shirts and the quality of some of our the services we provide. It's kind of cool. Like back in the day, I got some stuff from Jonathan, and he had sent a shirt, and it was always interesting to me receiving a screen printed shirt from another screen printer. Of course, I went over it and I felt it. And I'm like, you examine it very thoroughly.
You examine every single shirt when we go to the HEB or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
have to pull
do.
him along because anytime there's a shirt, for sale over there, he'll just immediately just stop and just start scrutinizing it. And I'm like, come on, I'm hungry.
No, I'll purposely just stop and piss her off and grab one of the shirts and then just rub my hand on it like an idiot, like I'm trying to set a fire.
Yeah. And then he's always like, do you see where they cut out the tag?
Yeah, can you see where they cut out the
I'm
tag?
like, yes, I see where they
See
cut out the
this?
tag.
It's been relabeled. You see that? You see it?
Yep, every time.
But we'll give it another minute or two, guys. We kind of started just a touch late. We're just running a little behind on some work stuff today, but we'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll switch it over and we'll talk about we'll see what's been going on in y'all's shop, and we'll talk about some of the things that's been going on in ours.
Hey, Uproar. Well, Express has a question about like a t-shirt subscription box, so we can tackle that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a really cool idea. I remember seeing. I can't think of the name of the company, but there's a couple companies out there that have videos up, and they have a couple neat ideas that we'll share with you guys. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty cool. We've thought about doing some of that stuff ourselves, but we hadn't got around to it just yet, which we need to. We actually. Well, we'll talk about it here in a second. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and switch this thing over, and then we'll talk about that. How's that sound, Shannon?
Woo!
Woo!
Oh,
Hey,
good.
what is up, everybody? Matt with Mikey Designs here. Shannon the shop gnomes across the room. We appreciate everybody tuning in to our show. And so let's dive into a few questions and the box idea, the subscription deal.
First off, Rye Beats, it's good to hear about that. Still thoughts and prayers. I'm glad to hear he's doing better. Hi, Samuel's Views. Hi, Alfred, not Albert. And what were we doing?
Well, we were about to talk about the subscription and box T-shirt idea
Oh, yeah. He wants to know what do you
type
think
deal.
the pros and cons are.
The pros and cons of the box T-shirt ditty. I don't really think
Hey, Jason.
there's any cons to it. I mean, I see nothing but pros with that. You're kind of, especially if you're setting up a subscription where they're paying every month and perhaps you're sending out a new T-shirt design. I don't see anything wrong with that. You might end up getting,
Yo.
I don't. thousands of subscribers, or I mean, you'll gradually build them up, but I don't see any cons. Can you think of any cons, Shannon?
Eventually, I'm gonna run out of ideas.
Oh, come on. You got a whole little tablet full of little drawings and whatnot. Maybe it's more of the execution than the ideas, because you got plenty of ideas.
Maybe.
The shall I say some of the ideas?
I think we talked about them already.
Yeah, like the Save the Unicorn thing, the black sheep T-shirt idea. You have the grumpy looking flower,
I like the grumpy looking flower.
the turtle
I don't know. I feel like
with the rocket.
I feel like most of my stuff belongs like in a hot topic though.
Yeah, yeah. They're not so much screen printing geared, really. I would say they're
No.
really just ideas that she had for a T-shirt line. That what were you gonna call it again, Shannon? I forgot.
I'm not saying.
Okay, well, she's not gonna say. I'm glad that I, I I kind of know what it is, but I'm sure I would just completely butcher it, and then she's just gonna look at me funny the rest of the night, like,
I don't make that face.
"Yo, yeah, no, you don't, not at all."
I don't. You look like a
No,
fish.
I can't even. You're right. You don't make that face. You make a face that I cannot even do. That's like your kind of grumpy, kind of pissed off face. Even though it's not like you're grumpy, it's just anytime I do something that you're like, what the hell? You kind of puff your jaw up, and you're like, I don't even know how to do it. It's hilarious. Eventually, when you guys out there and girls will see what I'm talking about, and that's something else we've been talking about. Okay, so back to this T-shirt subscription deal and the box idea. I think that's really cool. We've thought about, at least from a marketing sense, putting shirts in a box with our price list, business card, some samples of some other things that we've done. The only problem I would say for us has been getting around to it, and the box idea that we do have. We wanted it to be something we got from Four Over, which is a little box. The entire box would be printed. So there's the cost of your box and all that, everything that will go into it. And we thought about doing that for screen printed shirts that's like our own line as well. And then I would say, okay, so from what I've seen, there's two separate companies, and I've shown Shannon this just kind of watching some other screen printing tutorials. Not that there's any out there. I'm the only person with them, so just keep watching our videos over and over, which is not true.
Wait, what?
I'm saying there's no other screen printing tutorials out there, so they should just stay on our channel and keep watching them over and over
We're alone
and
in the
give
universe.
suggestions. No, but they're okay. So I've seen the box idea, which is kind of a subscription deal. I think they start theirs at somewhere around, I'd say about $20, maybe 15 to 25. I forget. And then there's Oklahoma screen printing, something along those lines. And they do a $10 subscription towards where you, almost like with Netflix or Amazon, you have a monthly subscription fee of $10, and then they come up with a new design every month. And as long as you're subscribed, they send you a new T-shirt. Now, the thing about how they do it, from what I've seen, because there's a guy that's just a huge fan of this whole thing, that will unwrap the T-shirt design that he gets. He'll do it on camera and post it on his YouTube channel. There's nothing really fancy that they do with it. They stick with one or two colors. They put it in the bag, and then they send it through the U.S. mail. And I believe it's just a regular postage. There's nothing. I think they probably pay. They charge $3.50, I believe, for postage. And the postage we've been using is kind of pricey, but it gets to whomever in 2 days. So if and when we end up doing something like that, we're gonna figure out, and maybe you guys can help us out with this is what is the most cost effective way to ship a T-shirt through mail. I imagine I can just go to the post office and say, I want the cheapest rate for this shirt, so that way I can keep the price low for our clients, customers. In that case, it would be a customer.
Rybeats
But
did it.
Rybeats did it. Did you do that, Rybeats?
He said it was a lot of work.
Yeah, I imagine it is a lot of work because now you're drop shipping to. You okay over there? You
Yeah,
okay, Shani? You gonna make it? See, there goes that look that I was talking about. Yeah, so it does end up being a lot of work. There, you would really have to figure out some sort of way to make life easy when it comes to doing that. I'm going back to Oklahoma screen printing or whatever they're called. I know they do thousands of them a month. They have a pretty huge subscription, and it's all Oklahoma-based T-shirts. Is the niche. They do a design based on whatever's going on in Oklahoma. Tornadoes happen often, so they're. I think one of the T-shirt designs, which I thought was pretty clever. If you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, give it a few minutes because their weather changes quite a bit given their location. So, I don't know. I think that's really cool. Can you think of anything, Shannon, that would be a con aside from the shipping part
I don't know,
and
just
coming up with
remaining
ideas?
just remaining consistent. I think is going to be something that we will have to work with. You know, just making sure this day, this day, this day every month. You know, just
Right.
staying consistent and like working the rest of our schedule around that because if it's a subscription thing, that's like not something you can really break a promise on and like get
Yeah.
backed up.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I recall, I think they do about 5,000 shirts a month with their subscription, and they are a fully automated shop to even be able to keep up with that, their subscription, and then their clients that they do custom orders for. So let us know how that ends up working out for you guys. Leave a comment, or if you have started doing that, let us know in the chat. And some of you guys out there that watch and haven't joined in the chat, join us in the chat. Leave a comment because we'd like to hear everyone's feedback, and we're all kind of acting as a soundboard for one another, and I think that's really cool. Okay. So,
Jason says a bird pooped on one of his screens, and he asks if it's good luck for his screen. And I'm just gonna answer no, just because.
good luck.
Well, I'm just saying. Like one day in college, I got pooped on by a bird, and my apartment building burned down in the same day. So I don't think it's good luck for anybody. It's just something they say to make you feel better. Even the screens.
That's very essential.
It was a bad day. My apartment building burned down. I got pooped on by a bird.
Your shop's gonna burn down. No, I wouldn't say that. Is it good luck? I don't think it's good luck. I'd be like, what the shit? Literally.
But I'm bummed.
How does a bird poop in your screen? For one, was it outside drying? How does that work? I would like to know that because I don't think I've ever had any shit in my screens
You've
ever.
had bugs.
I've had a lot of bugs. Here in Texas, we tend to, especially during the summer, when it starts warming up, a lot of bugs come out, and then when it starts to cool down, the bugs come back. So one of the things they tend to go after is the white ink, whatever the brightest ink is. And there's been times when what we call June bugs, these little 6-leg creatures, they tend to show up and just fly everywhere. Especially at night, they'll be around your patio light and all that, and They've come here in the shop
Hey,
since we've been in
Jurassic.
the shop. What's up, Jurassic? And a bug will fly in the screen, and I was like, I don't care. I'm just gonna keep going on and crunch him up in there because I know a lot of inks are made out of bugs, so he's just adding to the ink. Shannon thinks it's gross.
I really, really do.
I was like, what is it? He's not gonna go through the screen anyways. He'll eventually just end up being a mush
Oh, that's so
pile.
gross.
What? So, yeah, the bugs flying into the ink. Sometimes they'll get trapped in there. I'm like, you're stupid. You're not getting out of this screen because that white ink is kind of it's almost like fly paper for flies, really. Although flies haven't been in there. Y'all let us know as well what's some weird things that has landed in your screen. I'll say bird poop. That's the first I've ever heard of that, and I can't even think of how bird poop would land in it unless you're doing some live screen printing event.
We have a
where
troll.
We got ourselves a troll. What's up, troll? What's the troll's name?
Bearded Padawan slurp on dicks.
Bearded Padawans. Slurs on dick. Print that. You know what? Why don't you print this? I'm gonna get rid of bearded Padawan slurps on penis. Oh shit! I don't even know is he gone now?
No, it's at the very bottom.
Hold on, my chat's being a little slower than y'all's is today, or at least Shannon's. That's as stupid as that.
Well, now
is,
he's saying what the fuck.
Hey, bearded Padawan slurps
Well, again,
on.
Waldo's pointing out. Oh, okay, he says he's cool.
Oh, okay, okay. That's a pretty. We're
Okay, I'm
not
sorry.
weak,
Slurp
man.
on dicks is kind of a troll name.
You.
I think I'm innocent here. I'm sorry if I offended you. But
No, well, welcome to the show, man.
sorry.
Let's just say that that's a pretty interesting name. So we're gonna move on.
Jason says lose him. He's like, what the fuck? I'm cool.
You're
Message
more than,
retracted. Y'all are weak.
He retracted it. It's cool, man. We just sometimes we'll get a troll in here.
Wait,
and
now Waldo's
then-
saying he was joking. I don't know. I don't know if he is or not.
It's cool. We'll let him. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Every now and then we'll get a troll. We got to keep an eye on that stuff. So
Sorry, slurps.
you just got to understand, slurps. Shit happens. We're not perfect over here with the.
All right, he's chilling. Okay.
Okay, cool, man. We'll
Bitch, you
welcome
bitch.
to the show.
What is with these names? Hi,
Where-
bitch. Video, bitch. I do not know. How to pronounce
What
that.
is the name? What
Vitya?
name?
I can't even
Vitya.
say it now.
Oh, Video Bitch. Hey, what's up, Video Bitch? I mean, that's their name, so hey, welcome to the chat. So,
Anyways.
what has been going on in everybody's shop besides from bird poop landing in the screens? Anybody got any cool news they want to share? Maybe a big job that they have landed, new piece of equipment. Is there anything that perhaps a new product that you guys have tried out? Let us know in the chat, and we'll announce it, and we'll kind of let you know what's been going on with us as well. One of the things that, aside from getting more screen printing tutorials out there, we got a sample quart container from Fusion 180 ink. Isn't that right, Shannon?
Yeah.
So we got ourselves a little bit of a sample, and then we ended up printing some test prints, and we're going to post that video up soon. Aside from that, it's been business as usual.
Well.
And we've been busy. We got through a lot of orders, and we're getting to a good point towards where it's like, okay, we need to start marketing again a little bit just to kind of drive in. We still have a bunch of stuff that's just waiting. And you guys know how this goes. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 months for a client to actually finally pull the trigger. And so we have a bunch of jobs that are, as soon as they roll through, we're going to be pretty slam, which I'm very
Hi, Free
excited
Press.
about. But at the same time, manually screen printing, it can be tough. It can be tough.
All
You
right.
get those large orders.
Yeah.
The one I'm looking forward to, and I think Shannon may or may not be looking forward to, is doing 500 or so shirts and putting names on the back of every single one of those.
I like doing that. It means I get an
Yeah.
excuse to watch videos like all day while I just sit there on the futon. It's
While you
fun.
sit there, and watch movies and weed to
Yeah, binge watch
your-
Disney 90s live action.
yourself from just being completely bored by, well, not that it's boring, but
It is without a movie.
it's pretty yeah, it's pretty repetitive.
Okay, so Waldo's been off all last week. Congrats, that's awesome. Oh, never mind. He had some heart work done. Let us know how that turned out, please. I hope you're feeling better. Uproar fixed up his dark room made screen holder thingy. And Jean LaRose used the clear packing tape to tape off his screens. Now he can't get the tape to come off.
Oh yeah, that can be a little bit of a
High
pain in the butt.
ink-sational screen printing. I got it right.
All right. What in that case with the tape? What I would do is just go ahead and do like you normally would with reclaiming a screen. Just use your ink remover, your emulsion remover, and then when you get around to using your power washer, it's gonna blow it out. But just be sure when you are using that power washer, the hit it from the opposite side that it's on. Otherwise, you can put a hole in your screen. Hopefully that'll help. I hope it wasn't a screen that you're trying to save, because that packing tape, man, that stuff is hard to get up. We've used it in a pinch, but generally we have screen printing tape around, and I would stick to screen printing tape. Even though there's a lot of people that use packing tape, it's not. I've used it quite a bit. Have even tried solely using packing tape to tape off the screens and all that. But I just find screen printing tape to be, as you find, trying to remove that tape, the actual screen tape is that much easier to remove and makes life a little easier. Okay, so you said that someone created a, let's see here. It was a dark room?
Fixed a screen holder thingy.
Oh, okay. How'd you end up doing that, Uproar? Let us know in the chat. Did you use a corner? Did you make a rack in your dark room? Because really and truly, with our, before we came into the shop, I used to put them on the table that I would put all my inks on and everything, and then use. I happen to have. They're grommets. They're rubber grommets that you use for running wire or lines through anything metal to keep the line or the wire casing from getting all chewed up. And I used to use those and stack them face down on a table, but eventually I upgraded and just started using my press. It really wasn't an upgrade. It was kind of, we had no space for a screen drying rack. We had zero space, but we're not always on press. So I actually put the screens in between each station. We have a 6-station press, and if I had 12 screens that needed to dry, I would stack 6, and then I would stack another 6 on top of that. But I would put some of those. Sometimes it was a nut. Sometimes it was a pencil or pen, pair of scissors. I would put that in between the screens up just at the front of it, just to open it up a little bit. And then when we finally got the shop, I had the idea to make a screen drying cabinet. We had to make one. Finally, we had the room, plus the sun comes in 24/7. Well, not 24/7. We're not in Alaska. You get the idea. The sun would come in. We couldn't leave them just kind of sitting up. We'd have to do something with them immediately. So my good buddy Jesse helped me build a screen drying cabinet, which y'all see in the videos. I kind of wanted to be part of that, but his contribution to helping us almost kind of like a graduation present. Moving into the shop, our graduation present was
That we did his shirts for free.
yeah, we did his shirts. We did do the shirts for free.
But we weren't doing it to get anything out of it.
No, we were doing it out of because his daughter has type 1 diabetes. She's cutest thing, and she's
tiny.
She's 2 years old.
3.
Is she 3 now? Okay, so she's 3 years old. And to help with their walk, we're just like, just let us put our company name on the back. You can have them. It was a last minute deal, and they were happy with it. And then he helped out with the cabinet, and I just told him, I was like, keep your receipts, and we'll pay you for. We'll pay you. Hey, we'll pay you for your time. We'll pay you for all the materials. He's like, no.
He texted a video to Matt of him just like giving a tour of it and just cussing the entire time.
Oh yeah,
He was so pissed off.
he was just like, you bitch, you son of a bitch. And then he took a cigarette and showed me that the ventilation was working. He's like flicking his ashes in it because he's irritated with me.
Anyways, Free Press San Antonio is thinking of starting a screen printing business and would like any advice.
Well, I guess not congratulations, but somewhat of a congratulations and winning to step into screen printing. Advice I would give, it depends on budget, really. One, get all your legal stuff done first, whether you do a sole proprietorship, LLC. I'd get that taken care of. Put together a business plan. I would put some time aside to do that. Or you can wing it. We kind of winged it. I have a business plan together, which Shannon has never seen.
Hi, Indigenous. Bye.
It's probably not the most well thought out
Ricky.
business plan. Business plan would be good, and then whatever your budget is, if you can't afford a conveyor dryer right away, I would get the biggest size press you can afford. An exposure unit, I wouldn't try the best exposure unit you can find. I wouldn't try the whole sun and using a working light deal. You'll have more consistent results with an exposure unit. If you can't afford a conveyor dryer, you can cure the shirts with your flash cure. I did that for quite some time. And then whatever profit whatever profit you do end up making off of screen printing, I would just put it right back into investing in equipment to get things done a little faster. Because I know as soon as I got a conveyor dryer, it was a completely different world. I was like, oh my God, this is so fantastic. So I could just take them off, print the shirts, take them off, throw them on the conveyor, and not have to worry about it. So just get what equipment you can afford. If you can afford to do like a full-fledged shop right off the bat, I would go that route. Just make sure you get a good exposure unit, a great press. I would say at least a 4-color. I mean, I started out with a 1-color. A 6-color would be more ideal. And a washout booth and a power washer is going to be very helpful. So I remember when I was power washing them in the driveway, my neighbor was pissed.
So was the car wash guy.
Yeah, going to a car wash and doing it that way, the car wash guy, they're never happy about that either. That I will say that, so stepping up from my 1-color wooden press that I made, one of the first initial investments was an actual flash instead of trying to use a heat gun. And then from there, it was a washout booth and the press. And from there, I just started upgrading things slowly. I got a little Ranar exposure box. I think Rybeat has one of those. I use that with the weighted pad. It worked well. However, you do kind of have to put some extra weight on top of it just to really get it that positive contact with the film and the screen. So get the best equipment you can right out the gate. So that way you don't have to kind of gradually kind of step all these things up. That's what I did, even though I end up eventually selling those pieces, but you never get exactly what you pay for them. Used equipment too. I wouldn't shy away from used equipment. I wouldn't say go new with everything. As long as it's from a reputable company, and if the stuff works and it doesn't look like absolute dog doo-doo from overspray and lint, why not give it a shot? Also, stay away from spray tack. I would stay away from spray tack because it just gets lint all over the place. Use the water-based palette adhesive. You can go check out one of our videos how to rejuvenate that and how to remove the lint. I can't even believe I used spray tack for so long. I used the water-based stuff and then went back to using spray tack, and I was like, why? I don't know. It just makes a mess of everything.
Jason says spray tack will kill you.
Too.
And I'm sure I'm going to butcher this. Matthew Cicchini? I hope I'm not getting that too rough. He wants to know what our opinion is on the Chinese stuff, like you find on eBay.
My opinion on the stuff that you find on eBay is really the stuff that the Chinese stuff, all it is a piece of hardware. So if you end up getting a Chinese press, as long as it holds its registration, I mean, it pretty much is just mechanical pieces of equipment. As long as it does the job, then why not? I would just take a look at the reviews, and because I've seen plenty of people that have bought those blue Chinese presses. I'm thinking about even buying one for myself for doing live screen printing events eventually when we get around to setting up a page for that, promoting it. So that would be really cool and fun. Wouldn't it, Shannon, getting out and doing some live screen printing events? Be able to travel around?
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
it'd
I'd
be a lot
down
of
for
fun.
that.
We just got to figure out a way to pack all that crap up. So I wouldn't shy away from it. Harry, one of our good clients and friend that has the Rock Automatic, before he even bought his Rock Automatic, that's what he had. He had a 6-color, 6-station Chinese press. He had a conveyor dryer, and he never had any complaints about it. Although he did go from getting a Chinese-made equipment to the equivalent of a Cadillac when it comes to screen printing presses.
I do want to say, though, when we got the plotter, though, you were, and then we got the new one, you were actually, like, just watching it going, this is the difference between Chinese and Japanese products.
Okay. I will say the plotter, we had a Chinese plotter, which, don't get me wrong, that plotter served us well.
Yeah, it did.
And
it paid for itself.
It paid for itself. It was a little bit more of a pain in the butt to work with. There might be a pain in the ass factor. It will do the job and get the job done, but there is that pain in the ass factor where you kind of have to babysit these things more. So we had this GCC plotter, which I actually do recommend it. It gets the job done fairly inexpensive. We got ours used. It was a used floor model. I think one of them was a return because it didn't do something they thought it did. I forgot what it was. What was called? You remember the process? I'm trying to. You guys might know what the process is called. It's essentially where they have you do a print.
Hey, Sandry.
Like, let's say stickers. You print your stickers out and you put the little registration marks on it, and then you run it through your plotter, and it cuts them out so that way your stickers will come up off the backing. I forget what that's called. Anyway,
Dude, I had no idea what was going on. All I remember was just that they wouldn't let us test it out, and we had just watched the Cam's video on the wiring and Chinese products. Like, his shop almost burned down or something.
I mean, our heat
and I was
press.
like, sitting there going,
Our heat press out in the shop is a Chinese model, and boy, I cannot wait to upgrade that thing.
You are like so going back on all of it. Yeah, they're great. Oh my god.
No, it does. It gets the job done. It gets the job done, but you will notice the difference. It'll almost be night and day between something either made in Japan or made in America. Let's put it this way: it really doesn't matter where it's made. You get what you pay for. It'll get the job done.
Jason says he heard the GCCs were decent, and they are. They're a good
They
starter.
are.
They're a good starter plotter.
They are. They have some higher end models as well. It works great. Okay,
Yeah, ours
I'll
was a
say
good
that.
starter one.
I would say the only issue we had with it sometimes is it wouldn't completely close a character or whatever it was plotting. It would always leave that little piece where you kind of, as you're pilling your vinyl that is going to be trash. Sometimes it would want to pill up characters, and with the graph tech that we do have, it's night and day between how much it needs to be babysitted, and then also the GCC, because I'm a Mac person. I always had to switch I have Windows built into my computer so I can switch it over and use that software. And that was time consuming too. So one of the things with GCC is you load your vinyl in there and you manually have to set where it's beginning, and then you have to tell it how wide the vinyl is. You have to press this button 3 times and then it measures it out. And it's really loud too. The thing is so loud. It's like, and this one's just like, you hardly even hear it. So you get what you pay for. They work well, but you get what you pay for.
Rod wants to know if we got liability insurance when we started the shop.
Yeah, we had to have insurance because in the shop you have to have insurance. So liability insurance is a must. Isn't that right? At the house, no.
I think when we first started, though, we were like, "Do you have insurance?" We're like, "Sure," and then we went and got it.
Well, it was more of kind of a wink, like you have to have insurance on the building, wink, wink, type deal. Where basically it's just like we're not going to come and check whether you have insurance or not. But I mean, you should always have insurance on whatever it is you have that, like, say for instance, like your car. You know, if something happens to your car and you have insurance on it, then you kind of SOL, my friend.
Upper wants to know what the sound the cutter makes again.
Oh, you want to hear that again, huh? Let's. I'm gonna do my impression, and then Shannon is gonna do her impression.
I am not.
Why not?
Because I don't remember. All I remember is you going with Incredible Hulk on it the day we got this.
I'll tell you what sound it makes. It goes as I throw the damn thing on the floor. I literally got pissed off at it, and well, for one, I got irritated with it because I had dropped. Well, I had kicked it one day because I just was having a bad day. And I was like, this damn thing.
And you just hear me from the other side of the room, stop hitting the equipment.
I kicked it. It didn't break it. It broke like some little plastic clip off of it. And so I took a little bit of a breather. And then after that, it didn't have a stand. You can get a stand for them, but I used to just put it out in the shop. And so carrying it back and forth, I accidentally dropped it one day. And I kicked the crap out of the thing. But the one time I drop it on the floor after transporting it back and forth through the door multiple times.
Just hit that angle.
It just started going. So there's your noise again. And I was like, at that point, I just picked it up and I went Office Space on it.
Yeah,
I
just like Waldo said.
Completely destroyed it.
Well, that's his impression, and this is my impression of him going Office Space on it. Wah! Wah! Crash!
How's it go?
Wah! Crash!
So after that happened, we found ourselves in a situation because we were on a tight deadline for a t-shirt order, and we had no option. I was like, let's just go buy another one of those cheap piece of. Okay, it wasn't a piece of crap.
Your story so fluctuates on this.
I mean, it gets the job done, but I didn't want to buy another one of them. Let's just say that. So we ended up taking the hit and buying the Graph Tech, which was about $1,700.
We spent
straight out of our pocket
for a 7-shirt project.
I mean, we use the thing.
I know, but I was just like,
daily.
We better get a lot of vinyl orders.
We use it weekly, daily at times. It depends. And the difference between the two, I was like, oh my God, this thing is so smart. You stick your film in there, you tell whether it's a sheet or it's a roll. It knows how wide it is. It measures out the whole sheet. And then also I have the software on my Macintosh, which is just like, oh, thank you. But I mean, that's what you get. That's what you pay for. Is it's quieter, is that much smarter, and I don't have to. It's faster for sure. Yeah,
okay.
It's a great little plotter.
Jim wants to know if when we worked out of the home, did we have insurance?
Yeah, the house had insurance. Did we have insurance on the equipment as a business? No, we did not, because I mean,
sorry, Gene.
I mean, for all they know is the equipment's in there, and if it burnt the house down or whatever, then it was like it was stored in there. I don't know. That probably would have not worked. We probably needed insurance then too. But I really didn't see the need to have insurance plus insurance. I'll take that back. I had insurance at one point for the conveyor dryer that we have, because that conveyor dryer, I went through a leasing company. It was like a 3-year term when I first started printing. And so I had to have insurance on the piece of equipment, no matter whether I was at home or we had a separate shop. I had to have insurance. So I take that back. I had insurance, but once we paid it off, I just completely cut that out. At least the insurance at the house. So there you have it. Okay,
first off, there's a question, but I just want to point out this comment from Jean LaRose. For $1,700, it better give handies.
Oh, it does better than that, my friend. You don't know that, Shannon. You're out of the room when that happens.
Ew!
That's why we need a camera on you.
Oh my God.
Well, why are you getting "oh my God" to me when he's the one that mentioned that? That's his comment. No, you talk to him.
I'm not dating him.
So?
You're going to be really into that AI thing, aren't you? Anyways. Anyways, David Mullaney has to print 600 nylon backpacks this week, and wants to know if you have tips.
600 nylon backpacks.
You have to get over there to answer.
I understand that.
Bring that back.
No.
The reason he keeps leaving is he doesn't want to vape on screen, so he just keeps coming over here and stealing it and then taking it with him.
It's
like luring me over there.
It's kind of like not wanting to smoke in front of your parents. Not that you are my parents, but
shit. When I go out, I'm gonna be on.
Not to try and do that. So 600 of them, right? 600 backpacks?
Yes, sir. Backpacks.
Man, have you done... I would do a test print for one. What kind of backpack?
Nylon.
Okay, yeah, it's a nylon backpack, but also backpack can be a broad range of different things. So I would try and do a test print for one on... Get yourself an extra backpack and then do a test print on it before you try to start running off all 600 of them. Be sure to use Oh, the cheap drawstring kind. I would use a low bleed ink, and then just before you actually put. Will you stop crawling on the floor, coming over here trying to grab the vape? Go away. Hey, actually, come here, Shannon. Here it is, right here. Um, as Rye Beats is saying, put a low cure additive as well. That will be great. Uh, one of the things I've found about a catalyst. Chief Lot says a catalyst. That's great advice as well. But one thing have found about a lot of things that aren't T-shirts that aren't going to be washed is it kind of, even if it's not completely cured, who the hell is going to really wash it? Like a koozie. I mean, you're not going to wash a koozie. You're not going to. There was we did some nylon bags. Even if it's not completely cured, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But get yourself a you can get an additive or an ink. I would recommend One Stroke. They have their low bleed inks that cure at a really low temperature. So yeah, you might want to do. I would be sure to set your temperature at a lower heat, 280, 285, and then get a low cure ink. Well, the 100% polyester inks tend to be low cure,
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
low temperature, and then just you'll be fine. There's just some little details that you have to pay attention to, and you'll be fine. Fusion 180 ink
Yeah,
and
that's what I
call
was
it a
saying.
day.
Yeah.
I like One Stroke, so I mean, there's multiple ways to go. So I would just use a low cure ink, something that's a 100% poly ink will work just fine. Test print, do test print too. You don't want to go screwing up those backpacks. Although those drawstring backpacks, if you happen to bugger one or two of them up, who cares, right? Low mesh. Jean LaRose says a low mesh for backpacks. I agree. I probably wouldn't go any higher than 156. Depends on how thick you want that ink, because those backpacks. Yeah, a 110, 156 would probably work well. Also, I wouldn't go with a 195 or 200. It's probably a little too high. I think using the lower mesh, you're going to be able to fill the knit and prevent any kind of fibrillation or anything like that. So, hopefully that helps, man. And thanks, guys. Thanks for helping out with that. We appreciate that.
We're all always learning.
I can't say I've printed a lot of things, and sometimes you kind of get into the groove of printing T-shirts, and it can be easy to really kind of not. You might overlook something, so you might want to put together a little checklist. If you don't already have one, a little checklist to go through to make sure you're not missing any step before you start printing them. So that might help as well.
That might help us.
Yeah. We don't have a checklist per se. We need one.
I'm just saying spell check needs to be in the list. Because when it happened when you did the chemistry thing and you were like, I'm making a list, and I have yet to see the list.
Yeah. Well, you're right, and I know there's people out there that have shared a list. If we make one, it's gonna be $5. That's right. I'm just kidding. I like joking around about that because we had the T-shirt registration template for so long, and then I haven't really heard a lot of complaints, but I can't say that. If that was out there for me for $5, I wouldn't care. If there's a checklist out there and somebody has it and it's $5, so I don't have to spend the time putting one together, and I can just revise and add what I want on it, I'll pay $5.
Jean, you better be bringing that with you. Jean.
That's what I'm doing, crybaby.
I'm not a crybaby. I really wish you'd stop calling me that. Jean says he watched your
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Your mating screen. Yeah, I think I watched your matting screen for ink smoothing, and it works great.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it does work great. It's not something we use every single day. The flattening screen, if you want to call it a mating screen, that's cool too.
Matting.
Matting or mating. Anyways, yeah, it works really well. The only thing I wish I had would have added to that video is showing how to go about when I have shirts loaded up on every single station. But it works well. I mean, print your ink down, and then as soon as it comes out of the from under the flash, just hit it like you're doing a print. You might want to put a little more pressure, but it will flatten those fibers out and make the print. There's definitely a difference with when you are printing, loading all your palettes up. You're gonna want to go turn your press backwards. So you'll load everything up, print, and as soon as the first shirt that you printed comes out of the flash, then you're hitting it with your flattening screen. You go through all your stations, and eventually you go back to your normal printing order, or you can just keep going in reverse, whatever works for you.
Well, three things. One, we seem to be cracking Gene up a lot tonight. Rybeat says he had a registration video, a do-it-yourself registration video, and had a link to your template, and they're asking him why it's not free.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Rybeats. I saw that. I saw that. I feel bad about that.
Well, I got on here and yelled at people too.
It's not free anymore because
Well,
we've been getting phone calls and questions, emails, and I'll say that it as much as I enjoy helping people out, when you have work to do and you're getting a phone call about something you offer, so you're providing customer service for a free service, and
and God help
it's
you.
taking up your time. I mean, there's been times when, and I enjoy helping people out, and I don't mind. But I've gotten phone calls as to how can I go about printing the template on a piece of paper. I'm like, well, you gotta the layered that is. And I'm gonna make another video on how to do all this stuff, so I can just be like, refer to the video, or I'll help on the phone or whatever. But essentially the template itself and all the marks are on a template layered, so you have to double click on it, remove the option of it being a template layer, set your document size so the whole thing will print, or you can just go to the print and print all layers, hidden layers, all that stuff. And then also I get emails, just emails upon emails. How do I do this? How I downloaded it, but I'm not able to open it in my later version of Illustrator, or I'm having problems with it in Corel. And it's just so, if I sell 5 templates, it's not like there's a ton of people downloading this template. There are people downloading this template, but at the same time, it just eventually became, what do I do? If I don't have time, do I just ignore them? Or do I say, okay, I need to at least kind of make, it's not like we're raking in the dough with this thing.
Right. We actually have that was one of our topics in one of our lives that you can go back there, because I think this was a lot of stuff that we've mentioned, except this and the other one. I'm just like, you're like, where is your entitlement coming from? Blah 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 blah. And then I apologized. Anyways, back to the flattening.
The flattening screen?
Yes.
What do we got?
Says Nylobond's claim is it helps adhesion to the tight woven mesh because you don't push into the fabric.
Let me put my eyes on this. Where was this at?
Halfway through.
See, sorry, I'll get the Inksational. Halfway through. let's see.
Well, halfway from the bottom.
Okay. Nylobond's claim is it helps adhesion to the tight woven mesh because you don't push into the fabric. I don't I don't think that's really it's more of a just kind of a statement. I'm not familiar with Nylobond or what is Nylobond because you don't push into the fabric. I mean, with screen printing, really, I probably should stop saying the word really, really and truly. So
I say like a lot.
would yeah,
Hey,
like
thank you.
and the word but. However, that's just
Are you talking
how
about
we
me or
talk.
you?
No, myself.
I was gonna say you're starting to list a lot of things for me. I think that we could keep
Let
the
me
critiques like for after the show.
let me list the ways that I can really piss you off tonight. Um, so what I was getting at is the fact that when you're screen printing, you want to put the ink on top
Oh,
of your substrate, your garment, whatever you want to call it. You're not wanting to press the print in it so hard that it's going through your palette. You're gonna have more control over that with an automatic press than you are manually. It depends on if you're you're tired and you're
oh.
being a little heavier with your prints. And yeah, sure, Shannon.
Well, apparently I cut him off too early. He's saying that it's a catalyst for nylon, and he was still elaborating on the nylon because it can scratch off even when cured.
Oh, okay. Even with a poly ink, I don't know. I just we'll have to dig deeper into this because it's not very often that we print on nylon, and so Chief Lots. Let's see. So we appreciate the advice and thanks for throwing that out there because you know what main thing we print on is t-shirts. We do totes. A lot of things are cotton 50-50 blend polyester. So we appreciate the advice and for putting your 2 cents in because it's not every day we do nylon. I think the last time we did a nylon bag, we ended up heat pressing something onto it, so it really wasn't an issue. Inking's Ink says nylon and poly are two different things. They are two different things. You're absolutely right about that. Because I've screen printed on. You can melt some nylon pretty easy. Pretty damn easy. So it's funny because the company that I used to work for, Gala Industries, they had what was called ripstop nylon kites, and there was screen printing that went onto them at times, but I never saw that process because it was all excuse me, it was all done overseas. So any advice you guys can toss out there about printing on nylon? We're learning as well. It's not something we do every day.
Sunny, yo.
So if I've given some ill advice, let let the people
Yeah, feel free to correct if you know better. Really.
Yeah, because I've been screen printing. I mean, for the most part, I know my stuff. I don't know everything. I'm not going to claim to know everything. So what I do, what we do well, we know our stuff. You know, the things that we do well, we do well. That's a little repetitive.
That's a little redundant, yeah, honey.
Yeah.
We do good things good.
We do well stuff well. The stuff we do well, we do it really well. But when it comes to printing on nylon,
Well,
thanks for the help on that because we're not the nylon printing experts. Okay, I'll give you an example. And Shannon, I know she can chime in on this. We had a client that provided some shirts that it wasn't a tri-blend. When he sent it to us, he told us it was 100% polyester.
Oh.
And so he
God.
sent us
For 6 months.
he sent us these shirts, and I forget the name brand of the shirts, but they were pretty cool. Trying to think of the name of it. Do you
I
remember what they were called, Shannon?
No, all I remember is they didn't breathe for shit. Cause
Hmm.
I tried one of the failed ones on
Yeah.
as a work shirt. Didn't work.
So they sent their own shirts. I'm trying to think of the brand, and they just wanted us to screen print on them. Granted, it was a really difficult print to do, and these were supposedly 100% polyester. They had some spandex in them, which I hate printing on spandex because you get a lot of fibrillation. And because we weren't able to use a flattening screen or anything along those lines, and really, there I go with the really, the print could have used 8, maybe 9 colors, but we're trying to make it work with 6. And what eventually ended up happening was we would put our base down, and I wish we had found out about one stroke inks before that. We're doing this around winter time. The ink that we were using at the time, the polyester ink, was so thick. I just hated printing with the stuff. It was like printing with peanut butter. It was even thicker than that. It was like printing with molasses. That was difficult. And I mean, we were printing at a rate at about 150 of each design, maybe 100. But it had a front print, back print, sleeves
Hi, Solomon.
on each side. Man,
I actually
that wasn't fine. Let's just say we didn't end up making them happy. So
we
I
really
can't
didn't
necessarily
make them
say
happy.
that we're complete experts on everything.
I had
I mean,
a nightmare
we
about them
we
a
run
couple months ago,
into
actually.
we run into uh, our own hiccups, our own pitfalls. There's things that sometimes happen where we have to really kind of figure out a solution. One of the things that I try to keep in mind is just because I get a screen ready and we're on press does not mean that we're going to end up printing that day and it's going to come out fantastic, especially with spot process stuff, which this was a spot process job. We had some shirts due this past week that were if you follow us on Instagram, no, we're going to post a picture of this as well on Instagram.
Speaking of,
But did we not get any pictures
not
of
yet.
that?
I still need it. I still need the phone. It's been hooked up.
No, but did we get any pictures of the shirts before they left? I'm not sure we did.
Which ones?
The graduation tees that screen
I thought
printing
you
and
posted. I thought you took a video.
I did take a little video. Okay, so essentially it's screen printing. We did one where it was just a one color screen print with halftones and then glitter vinyl along with that.
Bye, Rye Beats.
They're see you later, Rye Beats. So it's a graduation shirt. It has separate pictures in the characters 2018, and there's the glitter vinyl. You mind handing that to me, Vanna?
Yeah, it's great for the phone.
Over here. She tosses me the shirt. So it's this design here. It has some screen printing on it, and then it's kind of I need to fix this damn light.
Yeah.
I just realized how dark it is over here. Now I'm sticking this shirt up, and you can even really see the glitter. See if we can get the glitter to show. No, it's not really working. Hold on, I might have to get my phone out. Anyways, point is, come grab it, Shannon. Anyways, the point is, hold on, my microphone's acting up a little bit. Okay, I need to restart my computer and check on my grounding and all that. Anyways, okay, it went away. So the point is, why is it doing that? Okay, so we went to essentially, okay, that's better. Print this job, thought everything was going to come out just the way this other one did. But because the tones of her skin just weren't really working because they were towards the part of the spectrum. In other words, the grayscale tones, we just weren't able to hold the dots. One of our kind of bottlenecks in having a multiple fluorescent tube exposure unit is we have, I mean, really, we can't hold those 95% to 100% dots, 5% to 1. And that's a pretty hard thing to do. I don't care who you are, screen printing wise. You have to have one of those single point units. Anyways, so what I ended up doing is I ended up making 6 screens for what should have just been 1 screen. Now, when I say 6 screens, I don't mean 6 screens. That's how many colors I ended up using. I redid the screen 3 times, and then
yeah, 6 screens means like 3 different times of him like walking back in here cussing.
yeah, and then I ended up using a white. Okay, now not white base because it goes on a white shirt. So I ended up using, because it is kind of a monochromatic kind of a sepia tone type deal. I ended up using royal blue, a light blue, or it might have been sky blue. I think it's just light blue. Sky blue tends to have a little bit different of a shade, and white on top of that. And they ended up looking fantastic. We'll post
Except for
pictures
the baby shirt.
of those. Yeah, that baby shirt scorched. It just is a little 3-month-old shirt, and our smallest pallet's 8x10, and that shirt was tiny. Put it on there, and then the issue that I didn't really see coming up was once I printed it, because I really don't think about it. We've done that before, but if it shrinks up, it's not a big deal. They got a shirt. The issue that came up is obviously the shirt kind of shrunk after you take it off. That because you're stretching it over the pallet, ended up snapping back, and we could not heat press on it. And also the shirt scorched. And
yeah, you set it on fire. There's that.
And
then we lost it.
I didn't set it on fire. It just had like little scorch marks on it. It was a Burt's Bees deal, and there was just a bunch of issues that came up.
Imagination is actually saying like they've never had. I'm just going to start saying they've never had a successful job when the customer is supplied. There's always a problem, color bleeding, etc.
I agree, and that's one of the reasons we're not as enthusiastic about the results and how they come out if they supply their own shirts, because if we're not familiar with the brand, then for all we know is we can't screen print on them, or it's not going to come out as well as the brands and the shirts that we're used to the printing on. Like, say for example, the job we were talking about where the client provided these 100% polyester shirts. Had we provided our own shirts, I have no doubt in my mind that they would have turned out the way we wanted them to. But because they were like, yeah, it's going to be this style of shirt, and they provided the shirts. Elbow Grease, that was the name of the company, Elbow Grease. They're cool shirts, but it didn't work out. Let's just say we kind of gave their shirts back to them and said, hey, we're having issues with this. This really isn't what we negotiated. And one of the reasons is when you provide your own shirts, people are like, oh, it's this style of shirt. Okay, well, here's the pricing. And then when we did try to renegotiate the pricing and all that, they weren't happy with it after the fact. So we sent it back to them, which it sucks. But
by the end of it, I was just like, make it go away. Just send it back. Just make it go away. Make it go away. I got stressed out to the point that every time he would call, I would leave the room. I was like, I can't. I still have nightmares because it was my first stressful, like really, really stressful.
It was.
And seeing the dark side of the screen printing business, which is apparently a thing.
It is, because, being in the service industry, it just happens. That's just the kind of things that eventually happen. So, what's that? I don't know what you're pointing at. You're gonna have to say something.
Anyways, so we've been at this for an hour 10. Did we want to talk about the phone call, or did we want to just wrap things up soon?
What phone call? I don't know what phone call you're talking about.
Okay, so it's top secret.
What phone call?
Oh, really?
Oh, no. We'll perhaps we'll talk about that next time. No, I think we'll keep that under wraps for now because it's yeah. I think that's something that needs to be kept under wraps just because
Okay.
it was something that was, hey, you're going to be this and you're essentially going to be helping us out type of I'll talk to
This
the
person.
person again and we'll figure out if it's cool for us to kind of spill the beans, but I don't think that's something that
That's why I
is
was asking because we didn't really talk about anything. Like we had no topic.
right. And
Anyone want to
which
hear how I pissed off a customer today when I made him have to cancel his credit card?
we
That happened to me today.
oh yeah.
He wasn't happy.
You know, if I'll just say with screen printing and it being a customer, we're service providers really, and stuff just happens. That's just part of the business. Well, guys, I think we are going to get out of here soon, and soon as in right this moment. Unless Shannon, there was something you can really think of that you wanted to talk about.
Just that I've been begging you for the phone.
The phone? Which phone? Oh.
I've been.
Do you need the phone right this second? Oh, okay. I see what's going on.
I've been asking you for like half an hour.
Hold on. I'm going to switch this back over. I'm like, why don't you the phone is right here. Just come get it. What does it matter?
Yeah.
If you're in the shot.
Oh, it matters.
Sorry.
Oh, it matters.
So Shannon's kind of been off camera asking for the phone so she can take a picture of me doing the live feed, and she did not want to get on camera that much because she's like, the phone. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I really don't. And so the phone's sitting right over here, and she did not want to come over. So I apologize, Shannon. Although I really don't, because that would have been cool to get your face on here. And people, I'm sure other people were kind of wanting to see that anyways.
Yeah, well, that's not happening.
Smells like Uproar is talking about phone call. Oh, smells like sponsorship. It's not necessarily a sponsorship. It's just, we'll see you, Gene. I'm sure you're probably gone already, but we'll see if we can't talk about it next time. It's not a sponsorship, but it's really something that we're honored to kind of be working with this person and kind of helping out, really. And it's the helps both ways. It helps going both ways. So, well, I don't know. I think that's probably something that wants to be kept under wraps until
Okay, yeah, that's
after the fact,
I don't know. You
or
left
whatever the
halfway
deal
through
is.
because the kids were like screaming.
Yeah, whatever the deal is, we've lined up. You know, that might be one of those back end kind of things where it's like, hey, we're scratching each other's back type of deal. So
Back end.
no, you ain't scratching each other's back ends.
I'm just saying you said back end. Anyways.
Oh
Uproar,
yeah, you.
I ended up.
Aren't you clever?
I ended up charging I know, right? I ended up charging a client because he called because he didn't want to pay through our PayPal system.
Oh, and
Yeah, well, Uproar said he wanted to know. I ended up he didn't want to pay through PayPal, so I wrote down the
Right.
credit card information so that Matt could do it later. I forgot to mention to Matt that he doesn't like PayPal because he was like, I don't want to use PayPal. I'm not comfortable with it. My account got hacked, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool, that's fine.
Oh yeah, we're familiar with that.
And then the moment I sent the email, I get a call from him. I told you I wasn't comfortable with PayPal. Huh?
Yeah.
I have to cancel my credit card now.
What is?
That's what he said. Yeah, I was
He's
like,
gonna cancel it?
yeah, he's canceling his credit card now, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
And he's like, I
Well-
don't really get worked up about this shit. It's just something else I have to do, but I wish you had given me more options. I was like,
Check or cash.
I didn't even think about it. I didn't think about it. I just
or
forgot.
maybe-
I just forgot to tell you.
Or maybe Venmo.
I am not familiar with Venmo.
Well, you know, we can't process a credit card number through Venmo, and we tried getting set up through
He was
Chase
really
at one
upset
point.
with me.
we tried getting set up through Chase at one point, but the deal is, because we do a lot of sales through PayPal, we tend to take out these working capital loans, which help us buy new equipment and all that.
That's how we paid off the dryer.
Right. Paid the dryer off. We've got this space here. It helped fund everything we needed to do in order to make this happen, and it's been very beneficial to us. So that's one of the reasons we could do a check or cash or accept a payment aside from. We don't get all of our payments through PayPal, but they wouldn't be very happy if we just ran with the money that they gave us and started channeling all our payments away, which in this particular case wouldn't have been a big deal because he just didn't want to use PayPal. But
I just didn't think about it. Matt wasn't here, and I just was like, by the way, you need to process that, and it just didn't occur to me. And then he's like, I'm canceling my credit card. I was like, I'm really sorry. And I had to bite back the thing. I was like, okay, you know what, dude? I'm sorry, but hey, look at it this way. I didn't charge you a rush fee for the fact that you need these by Thursday.
Yeah.
Because that's also something I forgot. I don't know. I've been off my game. Anyways.
Time to snap out of it, Shannon.
I know, right?
Vacation mode is over it. It's over. Okay, guys. Well, we're really getting out of here this time now. We appreciate everybody that has tuned in. And as always, don't forget to go over to our Facebook page. Give our page a like, our Facebook page. Go over to Instagram, follow us. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. It's that away. Ooh, I got it right the first time. And we're working on some more tutorials as well that we're going to post here this coming week. And don't forget that we are an official rep for Catspit Productions. So if you guys do need screen printing supplies or equipment, go to catspitscreenprintsupply.com and use our promo code Mikey Designs, MikeyDesigns. So we appreciate it, guys. Now that we've kind of got that out the way, Shannon, do you have something you would like to say? Would you like to end?
The next time you watch any Jurassic Park movie, just remember the sound the velociraptors make is made from the audio guy going to the zoo and recording turtles having sex.
Man, he must have really thrown some effects on that, because I've been really studying up on audio engineering and all that.
I'm just saying, picture that next time, because that's where he got the sound from.
Yeah, just watch you a video of that and then
unremember that. Unremember this, please.
Compare the two. You'll see. I don't know what the guy did, but anyways, we're gonna get out of here.
It's true.
Interesting facts.
Bye, guys. Love
Shannon.
you. Hearts.
We'll see you guys later. Your fun facts.